Thank you. Thank you very much. First, I want to thank Chancellor Wrighton for his wonderful remarks and rekindling the memory of the last time I was here. I was a debater then. Tonight I'm the moderator. That's a better deal. It was really wonderful, that debate at Watson University when we were here, because it was the first time that ordinary citizens asked all the questions, and they were all unscripted. And it's changed presidential debates forever. So now you would be surprised if America had a national election that didn't have a debate in which citizens were involved. In fact, the one we had last time I liked, but it was slightly more scripted than the one we had. I said, let them all in. I don't care who they are. I don't care what they say. Let them ask whatever they want to ask. Let's show the American people that we are not afraid of them, that we trust them, and we trust them to ask good questions and make good decisions. And we're here in no small measure because we trust you to shape the future of the world, and because the definition of citizenship has continued to evolve since the citizens ran the debate here in 1992. For most of the period after World War II till the end of the century, the definition of good citizenship was you should stay in school as long as you can. When you get out, you should get the best, most productive work you can and work hard at it and give people work for what you earn. If you establish a family, you should attempt to be a very good parent. You should be a good citizen. You should obey the law, be informed about the issues, and cast an informed vote at election time. That was the definition. Today, as you will see by your very presence here, there has been an explosion of non-governmental organizations and individual activity, thanks to the internet, that basically amount to private citizens doing public good. And I would argue it's one of the most significant developments of the last 25 years, even though it's been around a long time. America has more than 1 million foundations and religious organizations doing public good work. Half of them have been established since 1995. And the same thing is happening all over the world, as all of you know. Many of you who come from other countries work with local NGOs where you live or help to set them up. So this is happening partly because of technology, where you can have crowdfunding and sharing of ideas and targeting of projects, and partly because of people's awareness that there will always be a gap between what the government can provide and the private sector can produce, that is pretty large right now because of the economic and other problems of the world, and that because all of you are relatively free of constraints that are imposed either on strict for-profit businesses or people who have full-time government jobs, you might, working with governments and the private sector, or at least working in an environment where they're not overtly hostile to you, find ways to do public goods faster, better, at lower cost. It's a really exciting time to be alive. So welcome to the show, where you'll have a chance to prove you know not just what should be done, not just that you care about it, not that you're willing to work on it, but that you can figure out how to do it. I wanted to say a special word of thanks, in addition to Washington University and the whole community here, to our sponsors. As you know, we basically don't charge students, and we couldn't, to come here. We fly a fair number of you here who come from long distances and don't have the resources to come. And none of this would be possible without our sponsors. So I'm going to read them off, and I want you to express your appreciation to the American Association of University Women, Andy Nahas and the Prospect Fund, Boeing, Dell, the Hernreich Family Foundation, Laureate International Universities, Microsoft, Joan and Irwin Jacobs, the Peter G. Peterson Foundation, United Association, and Trudy Valentine. They're our sponsors. Let's give them a big hand. This year, we have more than 1,000 students from all 50 states in the United States and more than 75 other nations, representing over 300 institutions of higher education. Ever since we started CGIU in 2007, I had hoped it would become an increasingly active network where people could come together and discuss how to solve global challenges and what we could all do, even those of us that don't have any money. We've made some changes to improve our model in the last year. Perhaps the most important is the CGI University Network, a group of colleges and universities that will help fund and mentor CGIU commitment makers from their respective schools. These schools have joined the network and committed $380,000 in travel and project funding, which will mean those of you who aren't part of the network, it'll be a lot easier for the rest of us to raise money to fund your commitments. So I want to thank the universities that took part in this initiative. We're also working with the Resolution Project to hold a social venture pitch competition on site, which will provide $100,000 in seed funding to some of the promising enterprises here. Saturday, I'll be announcing the $10,000 winner of the Up to Us competition, launched last year with the Peter Peterson Foundation and Net Impact. 10 student teams have been working hard to make their peers aware of the long-term implications of the national debt and what could be done about it. So in total, there's about $500,000 in funding opportunities available for the CGIU class of 2013, which is by far the most we've ever had. And I intend to keep doing it until there is a reasonable chance for every commitment that is made here to get decent funding. So thank you for this. Now, this whole thing is about building networks, making commitments, and then trying to keep those commitments and trying to figure out how to improve them if they don't get the results you want. The commitments say a lot about what you care about and what kind of world you want to live in. It's clear that your generation has been sobered up by this global financial crisis. And there was an astonishing amount of how to do more with less, which is a good thing. And when global prosperity returns, do not forget, it will still be a good thing. It will still provide a competitive advantage. It will still provide more funds to do more social justice, to do more equal opportunity, to do more shared prosperity. It was clear that you have really invested a lot of your effort and ingenuity into answering the how question, which is my obsession. You are more enterprising than ever, not just using apps and open source software, but designing them. So you can do things like create engineering design challenges for students in rural Tanzania. In New York, you have plans to build an app to help high school students with learning disabilities lead independent lives after they graduate, when the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act will no longer offer them the support and protection they now have. I think you're in the right place here, and I'm glad we've got some more money to help you realize your dreams.